Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the middle end. I hope you ain't mad about that. Eagles say he the life. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the middle end. I hope you ain't mad about that. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the middle end. I hope you ain't mad about that. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the middle end. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the middle end. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and for those in the good end. Eagles say he the life of the party, for the demons, for the angels, and experience too.
Is not set up, it is not staffed to maximize the amount of money that comes in and the amount of money that they're not staffed and it's focused on maximizing the amount of money that comes out and minimizing the amount of money that, excuse me, the other way around. I gotta get the credit reverse. That's why I'm not in charge of fraud, waste, and abuse. So our federal government does not allocate those costs to minimize expenses. Okay, I don't even want them to do that. I mean, they do, but I would just like somebody to be there going, okay, I deposited this much in the checkbook. Yes. And now I write this check, and and when the balance gets to zero, they have to stop writing checks.
Correct. But we don't do that. Well, because we have other options available when it comes to the United States government in regards to where to come up with money. The downside to all of that is, and oftentimes you hear about this, you had brought it up earlier in regards to looking at, cutting spending or increasing revenue. What if we just put the squeeze on, that 10 to 15% of fraud, waste, and abuse and the billions of dollars that get spent every year in our government? Smart idea. How will we do it? What needs to be done to squeeze out those criminals in addition to what's being done now?
They can hire me for $150,000 a year,
all right,
and I'll check that stuff.
You'll check that stuff,
yeah.
Maybe plus expenses, and can work remotely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I'll find all the fraud.
So,
except that we're probably talking about numbers that most of us can't fathom.
That part, and one of the so every year over the past 20 years now,
stumbled upon some beautiful, intellectually stimulating conversation or financial revenue is the question of the day. And what we're trying to focus on is you creating generational seed, is you creating momentary seed, because 50% of those who retire have no money saved for retirement, and they solely basing their income on the government. And why would you do that? If you had an opportunity under God's landscape, knowing Psalms 24 say God controls everything. But we got a lot of humans who give in to another man's ideology of work. And what is your work? And is it approved? 2 Timothy, 2nd book, 15th verse. Study the word, divide it rightly, and show thyself approved unto God according to thy work in the land, and not man, because sometimes man just won't understand your measure of work and your measure to communicate with God and your testimony that you gonna give for the humans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or any other social media site that became a site where Jesus Christ called you to fight the good fight. I'm Reverend Eagle Condiance, man. I deem myself the best pastor in the whole entire world, but a lot of humans just don't want to understand the way that I serve God, and we all have a free exercise clause. And Reverend Eagle Condiance, man, gonna break down some case law about that particular issue today. He wants to educate the sheep. We can't stay lost. And if you want a church, have you sued for your 40 acres and a mule? And have you endured enough pain to make you a living, breathing, walking example of a chosen vessel for God? A revenue condemns man. Financial prosperity is the question of the day, and he who neglects his present concerns finds himself eating the wind as his bread is being eaten by another. It may be your best friend, and it may be your lover. I'm revenue.
Well, it was 5 or 6 years ago, and it was only $100 to my benefit. Am I going to do anything about that? Am I going to contact IRS to say, how do I get you this $100 back? I mean, that's going to be a huge project to get done.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to fight them over interest due and whatever. And
yeah, exactly. And so many people might look at that and say, well, honestly, if it was me, I'm probably looking at it going, I probably can't accomplish it. Even though it's the right thing to do, I don't think I could accomplish it. So there's that. Yep. That's small percentages. Most of the time, Tim, the fraud part of fraud, waste, and abuse in our federal government is somebody intending to, that's their goal all along, is I'm not entitled to this money, it's not mine, but I'm going after it because I think I can get it. And that comes again then through healthcare fraud, out of the Medicare, Medicaid, and the numerous programs like that throughout our federal government. And then there's unemployment insurance, and there's numerous other programs that fall in line with this, to where people actually intentionally assume somebody else's identity. So you're actually entitled to the money. I've stolen your identity, and before you can claim any of it, I get it instead. I've doctored up all the documents that I need to, and I send them in, whether by paper form or electronically, and it's verified to the point that government can verify, and they send the wrong person the money. They send the money to the crook, and eventually this just perpetrates and perpetrates and perpetrates. So there's that. Now, let's go to income taxes, because many of us participate in that. And we look at the amount of forms that we go through every year to file income taxes. It's extensive. some of the reasoning behind it is, if it's extensive, hopefully it is more accurate. Now, there's the black market, the